Hello, my name is Jack Siegel, and I am one of the hosts of a podcast, Orange, and with me to the left is my co-host, Tom Crescenzo. Hello, Tom.
I'm not chanting. I'm trying to. I'm actually kind of constipated. I'm trying to pass some gas.
Put some poop out of his butt.
No, yeah. What's up, guys?
How
What's going on? It's Tom here. Tom and Jack, Podcast Orange.
The Andrew Bergen-less podcast.
Yeah, the Bergen-less podcast. A podcast Bergen-less.
No more Bergen.
No more Bergen. That's the.
Now it's just Ass Bergen.
Ass Bergen. He has ass Bergen.
That's his disease.
He gets diagnosed with that.
He has Asperger's.
He doesn't. It's like, wait, you're saying I have Asperger's? It's like, no, I'm saying you have Aspergen.
Yeah, it
requires. What is that?
Requires you to play yo-yos uncontrollably.
I mean, that would explain it. Some kind of mental illness. Like, how else do you get that good at yo-yoing if you're not some sort of Rain Man?
That's his thing. You know, it's better than reading the phone book. Where, I used to have some weird shit where
people say that like it's better than reading the phone book. Like, do you know anybody who was ever like actually pathetic enough to wear? First of all, have you known anybody to own a phone book in the past 15 years?
I still have a phone book, but it's like nobody uses it anymore because you just have older. It's just like a relic.
Is it even like accurate? Like it probably has like like it's like it was your phone number back when you were still when it was still like Cisco Wireless or something.
Back when we had house phones, nobody has a home phone anymore.
True. I mean, we do, but it's like you don't really need one. I don't see why we have one.
We got rid of ours a few years ago. We just have cell phones. Back in the day, I know this is like, we sound like grandpa, like, back in the day. But, yeah, no, we used to have cell phones, and it would be attached to a wall. And, yeah.
I mean, they used to. Back in the day, phones used to be different, guys. Can you believe it?
This is so boring.
Yeah, right. Like we
I'm
did
really.
Not. Well, let's talk about what our week's been like. You know, we had that show.
Yes.
We had that workshop, that outdoor, socially distant, perfectly legal workshop.
Yeah.
Because this is New York, and we're trying to stay within the law here.
I think shows are not allowed. Is that the thing?
Sort of. Okay. Live entertainment is done. But you know what? It wasn't even really at a place, so fuck it. We had a show last week,
Yeah, we couldn't even find the place. We were driving around aimlessly for like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And then finally we called Andrew, and I was like, "Are you also lost?" And he said, "Yeah, but I found it." And it was just in this random location, which I could tell was the place that you would go back in high school when you wanted to get high and party with your friends.
I mean, not even just get high. It looked even more like a place where you would go to get high, but it looked like a place where slightly more sketchy shit could have happened too. Like it looked like there would be like a Friday where there's a bunch of kids getting high there, but then like over one of like the hills, just hidden, like there's two hobos just like violently fucking each other in the mouth and assholes, like.
Or it could be where teenagers fuck. I mean, like, because when we were young, there were spots in the outdoors when
I don't know. I feel like
bring a girl back to your house, and you'd go fuck her in the woods.
Now maybe this is because
she was dead. But
maybe this is because I never fucked as a teenager. But is it really like that? Because I never saw like I always thought that was kind of like a high school sort of like sitcom TV movie thing. I never really thought people fucked in spots. Like I thought it was like maybe like. If you had a girlfriend, but I thought really mostly people just got the chance to fuck at parties or something.
I only fucked a few times in high school, and it was, but when I did, and I did it in the woods, and it was like, I like how I was like,
and I wasn't in high school. I was actually this age.
She was in high school. I like how I said it while I'm drinking a Dos Equis. Like I don't know, he's fucking. But when I did, it was in the woods. No, and it was weird because. There was a couple of spots, like specific spots that like everybody would fuck in, and it's just odd watching like you're just getting naked outside in public.
It's also weird knowing you fucked in a place that other people fuck in all the time. Like and it's not like a hotel room or something. It's just like multiple people like get naked outside here, like.
Yeah, I mean, that's what all beds are, like, in dorms and everything.
Yeah, but it's still just, like, the idea of, like, at least you like to imagine in a hotel that they're cleaning it
Yeah.
And it's not like there's anything to really be cleaned. It's just like the idea that like you go behind this baseball field and there's like a snack shack that's closed and you step behind it and then there's just a bunch of used condoms on the floor and you're just like, all right, let's get ready. Like, this is hot. Doing. This is so hot. This turns me on.
It was hard to. Well, it was just exciting because you're young. I mean, like Wicks Park. Right now, there are probably 2 teenagers that are fucking in Wicks Park now.
Wicks was my stomping grounds.
Yeah, Wicks was the place to go.
You know, Wicks it's a funny part. Like, I mean, for those of you who are just not from this part of Long Island, like, but like, there's a park. It's like any other.
There's a place like a zip code.
Yeah, right. It's like for those of you who are not from this town, parks are a place where
you go and
they have slides and swings. No, but basically, there's a park near where we live called Wicks, and it's like it was just a classic smoke spot.
Yeah.
Like I have had sex there, but it was after high school.
Well, because it's just like it's the park, right? There's a park, and it's connected to a baseball field and a tennis court and a basketball court. But then behind the park is a giant field, and then behind that is like an open area of woods where you would go to either smoke weed, play airsoft, or fuck, or all three, you know.
And drink too, but yeah. Basically just like anything that like health class was telling you shouldn't do was happening.
Don't shoot each other, don't
shoot each other, don't
fuck.
Don't engage in satanic rituals of worship.
Drink, you know.
But I remember like that was one of those places where it's like it was always sketchy. The kids are like, yeah, it's totally safe, and then like every other time you go there, the cops come.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I remember having to run from the cops there many times. And, like, it got to the point where we memorized, like, specific paths of how to get out of there. Mm-hmm. Because, like, you couldn't just go out the front because you know that they'd be waiting for you. And you couldn't go out the normal back entrance. But there was, like, a sneaky woods path that could lead you to one of the other roads. And then you could just act like you're a bunch of kids who were clearly in the woods. But really, you're like, no, we're just walking.
We're just going on a hike.
We're just on a stroll. It's just me and my 5 friends with... You know, each with a backpack of their own.
Well, also, the cops would come around so much that my friends would just get paranoid. Like, this was... When you're in high school, everybody was so paranoid over everything that when you would talk to your parents on the phone, you would tell your other friends to stop talking. And it's just like... Why?
Yeah.
Why do they not expect your other friends to be talking?
And what's funny about that is if you did that, your friends would fuck with you.
Yeah, because you'd be like... pass the weed, kid.
Not even. It'd be like worse. You'd be like... Hi, Mom. Yeah, so I went to Taco Bell. It's like, yo, pass the heroin.
Yeah, like, they'll just do it over the top. And
it's just like, yeah, all right, I'll be home in a few Are you going to fit it? Are you done with that hooker?
Yeah. And
save her for the rest of us.
Well, also, like, but they would just get so paranoid that any noise, they'd be like, is that the fucking cops? And then people now you're leaving. And reality, most of the time, was just another group of people coming in to get high.
Yeah.
It was just
like, you're always so paranoid about, like, until the moments that you get caught.
Yeah.
Like, I remember, like, there was one time, like, because you always used to see, like, other stoners, like, walking in spots, right? And you'd be like, oh, shit, like, is that the police? It's like, well, they have flashlights, but those might just be phone line. But, like, it was always just other kids.
Yeah.
But then there would be one time where you assume it's just other kids, and then that's the time it's totally, completely cops.
It's like when you bring an umbrella out there and it doesn't rain, and, you know. It's just like...
And that's exactly when you hear the thunder strike.
Like,
I'll give a quick story. Like, I remember when I used to go to the psych center, you know, which is basically trespassing, but, like, you know, a lot of times, like, kids would get off on easier shit. But, like, I remember it was, like, nighttime, and my friend was just being an idiot. He was, like, playing with the broken glass in one of the windows, and he wound up cutting his hand. Like, and he was bleeding. Like, he cut, like a main artery, and he was gushing blood. He's like, oh, I just cut myself bad. And we're all like, you know, we're like, all right, how bad can it be?
Yeah.
And then you shine the light and you're like, oh.
Like, you need to go to a hospital.
Yeah, it's like, we need to call a fucking ambulance. And then in that moment, we see a cop pull into, like, from, like, where we were in the building, out the window, we see a cop pull into the area that we definitely would have to, like, leave.
Yeah.
So we're like, fuck, now we have to figure something out. Like, should we wait? Should we plan an escape route?
Do we talk to a cop?
Yeah, do we talk to a cop and explain? Then we're like, let's plan an escape route. And, like, you know, we're like, okay, we could run out through this other way and go through the soccer field and then go out on another road and go around and eventually get back to our car. And then we were like, fine, let's do that. Like, this kid's hand is wrapped in his t-shirt.
Yeah.
Like, his head is, like, spinning. There's, like, stars around his... He's like... We're like, how you hanging up, Chief? He's like...
Not quite there.
Yeah, he's just like, where are we again?
It's like you're in a war.
Yeah,
You're just, like, have to escort your friend who's, like, dying.
And
Like, we're almost there!
And your friend's just like, okay, Mommy. He's
Like,
just
each side of... And you have another friend holding up the arms of your guy, like, we're gonna get you home!
Yeah, like, we got it, this man! Where's the fucking chopper? Like, it's just in the psych center. But we get down, and we look out the window where the cops were. We don't see the cops anymore. So this time we're like, all right, we're good. And we're sneaking out, like, walking to where we're going to get past. And, you know, eventually cross the street to get to where our cars were. And we see a group with flashlights. And this is what I mean. Like, in this moment, like, it was so clearly, like, those were the cops. We're just like, nah, that's probably kids. I mean, it's always kids, right? And then we kept walking. And then, of course, freeze! And it's like, oh.
What do the cops do?
I mean... You know, we were all like 19.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, you know, we basically just, like, you know, there was no way we could lie. Like, we couldn't be like, sorry, we're lost. Like, we're literally covered in asbestos head to toe. Like, how is,
yeah.
Like, we didn't know where we were. It's like, my knees are all scuffed with white shit. Like,
and it's funny that
there's no way you could get away with it.
Yeah, and we'll save the Kings Park Psych Center for another episode because I want to use this awesome segue. But speaking of cops, you know, not bad, right?
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
That was all right.
Yeah, one thing before we do get in that, though, I do want to say the show we did was great. It was put on by our good buddy Dom LaMarca, and he put on like an underground show in like a spot. So if those shows are ever happening,
it was above ground. What are you talking about?
Right. But, you know, I just wanted to give, you know, props to Dom and thank him for putting us on. We had a good time. But, yeah, you know, follow us for more.
Mosquitoes fucking annihilated us that day.
Oh, dude, my legs still look like a fucking beehive attack.
Did you do what I told you to do? Get that cortisone shit?
No, I actually just took a fucking, like, cake knife and started, like, shearing my dead skin on. No, I'm kidding. I didn't do that. I just scratch them till they bleed. Like, that's my method with mosquito bites. I'm aggressive with it. I'm like, I'm not going to outsmart them. I'm not going to reason with them. I just have to kill them. So.
Yeah. Oh, I kill the mosquitoes. I mean,
I'm saying the mosquito bites. Like, you just have to scratch them until the flesh is gone, and then your body just can't itch anymore.
You could still see it. It was bad for a couple of days. I kept putting on that shit. But...
Dude, I'm scratching my ankle right now. Look at me like it's horrible. Yeah.
Hydrocortisone, big shout. If we have to sponsor a product, I'll sponsor them because they really fucking help.
Right, hydrocortisone, the cure for the coronavirus.
You know, and yeah, just you have to take it. You have to take it anally.
Take it anally, and then it cures.
Boost hydrocortisone.
But anyway, we'll go back to the segue.
Oh yeah. Here we go again.
Yeah.
I mean. It's Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
Again.
This is what we call.
We're kind of going back to our old episodes here.
Yeah, I feel like this is back like a podcast Orange episode 7 days now.
Sorry, I feel like I don't know even if the listeners want to hear us talk about this shit.
I mean, like the rundown is so unnecessary. Like, everyone knows what's happening. Like, to give the rundown is so like.
Some guy got shot by the cops.
Yep, it was pretty disgusting. There's a video.
People are pissed.
He pretty clearly didn't need to get shot. Yada yada.
But what makes this one different is that there is the officers were not arrested, and also some kid named Kyle killed a couple of people with an AR-15.
Well, you are breezing over. But here's what happened. So basically, like, what was the name of the guy who got killed? The first guy,
Jacob Blake.
Yeah, so Jacob Blake got shot wrongfully by a police officer because I don't know. What I read is that he was breaking up a fight, and then like cops came, and I guess they were trying to detain him. And, you know, he must have thought that he had the right to leave, which is like, you know, technically you are supposed to ask, am I being detained? But really, like, a cop has to make it clear that you're being detained before they use lethal force on you, or any kind of force for that matter. So he's walking back to his car to get in the car with his kids, and as he's opening the door, like, his children are in the back seat. He just gets, like, literally like pumped with like 5 or 7 bullets.
Yeah.
Like it's a pretty fucked
his
up
back
video.
was turned to the cops. That's what's
like, this like, and I know they're gonna try to pull the whole. Clearly, well, I was afraid for my life. I thought he might have had a weapon in there.
It's like
he definitely had a gun. And it's like, dude, you could have like. He definitely did it. And B,
by the time
like,
he went to... Okay, let's just say he had a gun, though, like in a glove compartment. By the time he went to get that, you could have, like, shot him twice.
Or you could have tased him. Like,
yeah.
Or you could have, like, I don't know, maybe tried to detain him before he opened the car door. Like,
why is the immediate impulse to shoot somebody?
Like, you're just like, I'm waiting for that exact moment where I have to take my gun out. But regardless, whatever. So obviously people are up in arms and still protesting about it. The media's not covering it the same way they did last time because they probably don't want to exacerbate it, but they're not going to stop it at this point.
Well, they are. And they're covering it in different ways, I think.
Certain media outlets, I feel like it's less this time.
Yeah,
but
it's not as... It's like, I don't know.
It's kind of like, I mean, you know, it's weird to say we're used to this at this point, but it's like, you know, with George Floyd, it was kind of the first thing like that in a while.
Right.
And now it's like... It's the second one in 2020, so it's like the second big one at least. I mean, you know,
forget what it's a lot like.
Don't forget all the ones you never hear about.
It's a lot like when that Spider-Man movie came out after Avengers Endgame, and people were like that was a big Avengers movie. We kind of had enough superhero stuff, and then they had another.
Yeah,
Spider-Man movie.
So you're saying that this man's death is the Spider-Man of racially motivated police shootings?
I'm trying
this
to
man's death is the Spider-Man homecoming of racially motivated police
Far
shootings.
From Home. I'm trying to put
Far From Home.
I'm trying to put some ironic
Spider-Man Far From Home. Spider-Man Spider-Man, you fit a description. That's the name of the movie. Spider-Man fits a description.
I'm being silly, but I think what's interesting about this one is that
because hold on, this is what I wanted to say is like what happened next is like during the protest that ensued after, basically this militia of like white guys decided like we're gonna stand around like local businesses and like or something like. I think it was a gas station specifically, but they were like, we're going to guard the local businesses with machine guns.
They took our jobs!
Literally, like, they're taking our jobs!
They're taking our property!
It's just the South Park redneck.
That's what I hear when I think of it.
I would love it if like it was just like, imagine you're watching it on the news and it's literally the South Park rednecks. Like, they're just standing there.
They're coming for our jobs!
But it's like, but anyway, so it gets heated obviously because these people are basically like whether they realize it or not, I think they realize it, but they may be convincing themselves that it's different. What they're trying to do is provoke somebody.
Yeah.
Like you're not trying to fucking protect anything. You're trying to provoke somebody. So you go out there with your fucking gun and your small dick, and like you're standing there, and obviously things get heated, and like you know. I guess it literally goes down between the protesters and one of the kids holding the guns, this kid named Kyle Rittenhouse. And Kyle, who's 17, actually shoots and kills a couple of them. Like, I think he killed 2 people.
Yeah, and one's in the hospital. So
yeah. And the thing is, Kyle doesn't even live in Wisconsin. Like, he's from another state.
Illinois.
He literally came from another state because he knew this shit was going down here.
Yeah.
Comes from another state so that he could stand in front of a gas station with a machine gun.
He came there looking for trouble.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what they say about, like I don't know, Antifa or whatever, Black Lives Matter. All those people are always saying like, "Oh, these guys are coming here, they're looking for trouble."
Beyond that, I feel like there's a quote from the movie Dirty Harry where it's just like, "This dude punk's looking for trouble." Like,
yeah, that's what, and it's honestly like, dude, it's just weird because what happened was, you know, the fact that he shot 2 people, I mean, that's horrible enough, but. What was weird about that was how many people were defending this kid. And not just, like, you know, random Billy Bob in his basement, but like major news figures like
well,
Tucker Carlson,
fucking fucker Carlson and his retarded
motherfucker
face,
Carlson, and Ann Coulter,
stupid dipshit Carlson. Like he's one of those guys who I hate so much I don't even want to put any thought into my insults of him.
Yeah.
I just want to be like dumb, poopy, butt face retard Carlson. Like,
do you ever see that video of Jon Stewart on a show and he kind of like annihilated him, and the show got canceled because of that?
Yeah, I mean,
CNN.
Because the thing is, Jon Stewart and Bill O'Reilly, like, as much as Bill O'Reilly's a bag of shit, Jon Stewart and Bill O'Reilly, at least before the shit about Bill came out, they did have a level of respect for each other.
Jon Stewart always hated Tucker Carlson.
They would debate. And Jon Stewart, like Jon Stewart and Bill O'Reilly's debates, like, they were thought-provoking, and usually it just ended with Jon Stewart making him look like a dumbass, and it was always fun for everybody in the end.
At the end of the day, they have some, like, little quips with each other, and it's all.
I think they considered themselves friends in the business, and I think that obviously I'm assuming Jon Stewart didn't know what was going on behind.
Well, he came out recently and said like he regrets having Bill O'Reilly on his show.
I mean,
but I think that was
at this
lot.
point,
but back in the day, they didn't know that he was like a big creep. They just
like Tucker Carlson is just like, I mean, Tucker's like, I think the difference between Bill is like, Bill was insufferable, but Bill at least had like some sort of like respectability in his dictation. Yeah. Like Tucker Carlson just seems like this amped up frat dude. Like he literally seems like a guy, like a kid who snorted like 5 bars of like Adderall before a final, and he's just dumb. He's just burning through everything as fast as he can.
Like I actually read Bill O'Reilly's book "Killing Lincoln" that he wrote about like all this details about the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. And it's like, as much as I fucking hate Bill O'Reilly, he does know a lot about history, and I'm like, the guy is like, he's a learned man.
I mean,
whereas, like Tucker Carlson is,
Bill O'Reilly is someone whose whole career was based off of his ability to beat people in arguments. Like, he was really the first guy who did that and actually made, like, a big career out of it. Like, a lot of people try to do that. Like, Alex Jones is a version of that, like, in my view. Like, all these guys these days are really taking something from him. And I don't even consider that.
Rush Limbaugh was.
I mean, Rush Limbaugh more so, but Rush Limbaugh might be more just extreme, and A, he's radio, and B, it's like he's more just the extremist side of it. Like Rush Limbaugh's crazy. Like Bill O'Reilly was pretty dumb, but I think a lot of his views were just very traditional conservative, and like it was easier to be.
Some of them were really racist.
No, I mean yes, traditional conservative.
That's true.
But it's like it was like when you'd see him argue with people, it's. Like when I watch Tucker Carlson argue with people, I actually want to rip his head off. I want to pick him up like he's like a Ken doll and like rip his head off with 2 hands.
And you know why? Because I know people like that, because certain people have this idea that if they're talking louder than the other person, it means they're smarter than them and that they somehow won the argument. And I've watched like people on Tucker Carlson's show just for like, for shits and gigs, and they'll start to say something, and he'll immediately just trample over them, anything they say, and change the subject. And he like you can like if you play a game with like in a 5-minute interview and take a shot every time he interrupts his guests, you'd be dead by the end of the 5 minutes. Because
oh my god, you want to imagine we did that? You want to do that?
We could do that.
We could play the Tucker Carlson drinking game. Like
take a sip every time he interrupts somebody.
Just pull up an interview with someone he seriously disagrees with, and maybe not like a shot, but maybe like a sip every time he maybe a sip every time he like cuts them off.
Well, there was one interview which I highly recommend, where he interviews Bill Nye, the science guy. And Bill Nye, like, I gotta say, that guy has a lot of patience, because eventually you could just see in his face, he's just like, this guy is arguing with me about science, and I guarantee he got, like, D's in high school.
I mean, yeah.
Like, but yeah, I hate those. I know people like that, you started talking about politics. Like, I don't mind talking to people I disagree with about politics. I like that, because you get to share whatever. But as soon as you start like, yeah, well, you're just a fucking piece of... I'm like, okay, I can't do it anymore.
Well, I mean, annoying. It's also just like, I think arguing politics is something you can really only do with, like, close friends. Yeah. Because if you argue with somebody that you're not friends with, there's nothing really at stake to keep you from, like, going at each other's throats. Like, you know what I mean? When I'm arguing with, like, you, or when I'm arguing with my brother even, like, when something comes up that we really disagree with, it can get heated, but, you know, there's always that, like, threshold where it's like, you're my good friend, he's my brother, like, you know, I'm never gonna, like, pass that, like, boundary of, like, like, I'll never, like, not want you in my life just because I disagree with you.
Right.
But, like, if it's just some asshole who I, like, met somewhere, and, like, he's making zero sense about anything he's saying, we're arguing, like, yeah, I could totally fucking slam his face into the fucking, like, porridge that he's eating just to prove a point. Like, I could totally see myself, like, just, like, you know what? Maybe my fist can convince you. Like, literally just, like, because you're not friends with them. Like, no, what do you care if they don't like you? You just want them to not think that they're right about the thing you think you're right about.
It's frustrating, because I got into a conversation with, like, a big Trump guy recently, and he's like, listen, you're not going to... He said to me, he's like, you're not going to change a Trump supporter's mind to me. And I'm like... I know, but that's the problem, is that, like, if you can never change your mind based on anything that somebody says, I've had time, and, like, I think I talked about this last week with Bergen, like, it's kind of embarrassing when somebody proves you wrong, and you just have to, like, you
have to kind of deal with it.
You're just like, well, I guess I'm an asshole, or, you know, I guess you're smarter than me on this particular thing, but... Like, that's part of life.
I mean,
you just have to deal with that.
But that's the thing. Getting back to the whole Kyle...
We're like, way off.
Getting back to the whole Kyle Rittenhouse thing is like... So, like, you know... Like, people are trying to argue. They're like, well, what are we supposed to do? Like, and we're so sick of, like... I'm so sick of all the TJ Maxx's getting burned down. Like, what am I supposed to do? It's like, I guess, all right, I guess you're supposed to
buy my $15 blouses?
Yeah, right. Like, where am I supposed to go and buy my fucking, like fucking shit that I'm gonna return in 3 days anyway? Like,
where am I gonna buy my obligatory scented candle for my grandmother's birthday?
Oh my god! Like, it's just so stupid. Like, people are like, oh no, like, I feel like I think the only way to save the chains, all these poor little chains, they need me to put boots on the ground to protect them. Like,
yeah, I doubt that anybody that owns a store wants a crazy guy with a gun hanging out in front of your store.
Yeah, right.
It's not exactly going to attract customers.
Could you imagine if you owned a business and, like, some 17-year-old with an AR-15 just walked in and said, hey, listen, man, I got your back.
Yeah, I'd be like, can you get the fuck out of here?
I'd be like, leave or I'm calling the police. I'm like, if you come within 15 feet of my store, I'm calling the cops. Like, and then I call the cops and they just give them a bunch of water bottles and I'm just like, what the fuck, guys? Like,
you're not. Yeah, that was weird too. Like, the cop, it was honestly like a battle.
Supposedly it's weird. Like, he was seen, like, cleaning graffiti or whatever, like, before. So I guess the, like, protesters are like, you know, they might be making the city dirty, and I guess there's a group of people who are, like, going around and cleaning it up, and I guess he was one of them. And, like, I guess cops gave him a water bottle while he was doing that. But, like, I don't know. I don't think that's, like... No, like, people are making it seem like he fucking shot the guy, and then the cop was like, good job, buddy. Like, you need that didn't happen.
Yeah, no. Like, you need a refreshment.
Yeah. Like, he shoots the guy, and then the cop just comes up to him, and he's like with a nice, like, a nice nappy, buddy. And he he dabs his forehead. He's like, you okay? He sits him down in his corner. He's like, all right, listen, you gotta guard your left more, okay?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, too, is that when this happened, there was just so much misinformation. So, like you said, like, people hear that, and they immediately think that was the case.
Yeah.
And, like, there's so much bullshit. Either way, nobody crosses state lines because they want to protect, like, a Bennigan's and a fucking...
Right. Like, and if you are, you're clearly insane. Like,
yeah.
If his reasoning for this, like, I'm almost more scared if his reasoning for this is not racially motivated, because
really
then it's then it's like this kid is so passionate about a fucking Denny's or, like, a Dairy Queen, like, that he's gotta fucking drive hundreds of miles with a firearm.
Yeah.
Like,
as if those companies don't have, like, insurance that'll cover this shit if anything happens.
Yeah, like, that's what people forget is, like, yeah, the small businesses are upsetting, that sucks and whatever, but, like, you know, something like a fucking, like a Dairy Queen, or even most, like, gas station franchises, like, they're insured for shit like that. Like,
yeah, exactly. They'll come out of it
It's like, and it's like, whatever, like, you know what I mean? Like, if you work there, like, it probably suck. Like, here's the thing. I work in a small business. Like, it would suck if, like, UPS it got destroyed and I lost my job. But do you think I'd rather you kill the people trying to destroy the store?
Well, also, it's like somebody that works at, like, a chain like UPS, you wouldn't even lose your job. You'd just be like, all right, now you work at this other UPS.
Not even, you would be like, you could be moved. Well, here's the thing. Like, it's...
I mean, I don't know.
Like the UPS store is a franchise. It's not like the UPS corporation. So, like, if my UPS store got destroyed, I probably would be out of a job. But the point is, like, if it's either that happens or, like, somebody gets murdered to protect it, it's like, like, please burn the store down. Like, yeah, it's fine. Yeah. Like, I don't want to... I mean... I'm trying to keep this job, Jack.
It's not gonna be fired.
My boss listens. So telling me, I listened to your podcast for the first time yesterday.
You chose the wrong episode.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you should have started with like episode 5 or something.
It's like, this isn't like a show that you can just catch on any random. You gotta start from the beginning.
I mean, really, there's not one episode that I could like be like, yeah, boss, you could watch this. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't show my boss the Adele fat tits episod. Like,
well, that's the thing too. I don't know if I've already talked about this. I think I did on the pod. Like, my friend's parents, my parents' friends were like, hey, I heard you have a podcast. Can we listen to it? I'm like, God. I said, like, I don't know if you would like it. We say some pretty fucked up shit on there. And they're like, well, we listen to, like, Joe Rogan and Joey Diaz. I'm like, oh, okay. Then, you probably would like it.
I mean, yeah, at that rate, it's like, all right, go for it then. Like, yeah.
But it's like, I'm like, listen, don't get angry at me if you don't.
I just try to tell people what they're in for. Yeah, people be like, I want to listen to it. And I'll be like, all right, just like, understand. Like, it's not like... When I did this, I wasn't thinking about any of you as if you exist.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? It's like, as long as you put that disclaimer in, you're fine, because it's like...
I think so.
Plus I warned you.
I'm not 19. I'm not even like a teenager. Like, I'm 24 years old. Like, I'm just a dude now. Like, you can get mad at me all you want, but like, whatever. Like, I make my money. Fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the bottom, like, I will eventually become a teacher.
And then we'll have to start calling you Dr. J and the women or something. Like,
well, then...
Welcome to a podcast, Orange. It's Mr. T and Dr. J and the women. How you doing, Jay?
That would be
and you'll just have to put on a fake voice. You'll just be like,
hey, how you doing?
Like, hey, it's a man, yeah.
No, we'll still do the podcast, but at that point, like, I'll really be risking... some shit if somebody...
I mean, yeah, especially if you're a teacher of, like, little children and they pull up some of your...
That.
Like, it'd be really funny if, like, you had a student that really didn't like you.
Oh, yeah.
And, like it was, like, a middle schooler and he figured out how to find this. And he found, like, one of the episodes where you said, like, a new 9/11 should happen to people who use Twitter or something. And then he just, like, sent it to the superintendent of your school district.
At that point, he'd be like, can we speak to him? Like, you don't even have to. I'll pack my bag.
Yeah, he's just like...
I knew this day was going
to come. Jack, can we have a word with you? I was like, don't bother. I already called a cab. I'm out of here.
I knew this day was going to come eventually. Like, I'm just prepared for it.
Yeah, you're like, I actually had, like, I've never really unpacked my stuff in the classroom just because I knew this was coming.
But getting back to Kyle Rittenhouse, I think that...
See, what this shows to me is, like, a couple things. First of all, I'm like, how did this kid get this gun?
Mm-hmm.
Like...
That's what was so weird. Because, like, you're not allowed to buy a gun.
Like, how did he get this gun? Like,
you're not allowed to buy a gun if you're... I'm pretty sure it depends. Either if you have to be at least 18 or 21, and he was neither. He was 17, and he looks younger than 17. He looks like he was, like, 14 years old. But was it even his gun, or was it his parents' gun?
Well, I don't know. This is weird. Like, this is, like, something that was, like... At 17 years old, this website, which is PolitiFact, which, I mean, take that with half a shaker of salt.
Politiopinion.
Especially because I'm trying to read this and I've already been hit with like 6 ads. So.
Oh God, that's not a good sign.
All right, at 17 years old, Kyle was perfectly legal to be able to possess that rifle without parental supervision. Really?
What?
Well, all right, this is like the short. This is like if we don't have a lot of time. This is the too long didn't read. Yeah. So Kyle Rittenhouse, 17. This is from PolitiFact, by the way. Kyle Rittenhouse, 17, of Antioch, is that how you say it? some random town in Illinois, has been arrested on 5 felony charges related to the shooting of 3 people. We know that. In addition to the felonies, Wisconsin court records show that prosecutors have charged Rittenhouse with 1 misdemeanor count of possession of a dangerous weapon under the age of 18. Yeah, so he...
Yeah, you can't own a gun.
Yeah, you can't own it. But, so since Rittenhouse is 17, he would not qualify for a concealed carry permit.
Also, you can't cross state lines with a gun.
Yeah, so he's breaking...
You're breaking multiple laws.
So he was breaking the law. What's the point of this title?
I don't know.
No, he is breaking the law because...
Clickbait bullshit.
Because he, so first of all, he was too young to have it.
You can't cross state lines with a gun.
Second of all, you have to have this concealed carry permit if you're going to carry, or open carry. I don't know if Wisconsin is an open carry state.
Third, you're not allowed to shoot people and kill them.
Yeah, third, you're not allowed to, even if you are going to carry your gun around, you're not allowed to carry it around with the implication that you're protecting small businesses from protesters.
Like, what the fuck is going on,
man?
What
do you think you're doing? Like, what exactly did you think was going to happen, you fucking retard? Well, I'm talking to Kyle now. Like, if he ever hears this, I want him to know that I think he's literally dumb as dog shit.
Well, it's funny too.
Beyond being evil, he's just dumb.
He thinks he's a hero. It's just weird about it.
What did you think was gonna go down? How did you think you were gonna So you were gonna show up and you were gonna see people breaking into a GameStop and you were just gonna open fire and it was gonna be fine?
Yeah.
What could possibly be going through your head?
Well, remember the Missouri couple, the McCloskeys?
Oh, well, that was fucking...
But the thing was, they
that's different because they were just defending their house.
But they, that image of the whatever, those two, the husband and wife, that went viral. They spoke at the RNC, and they gave this whole speech about how we're protecting our homes from these invaders, and they're coming for us, and they're coming for our jobs, and bippity boppity boopity. And
the interview was like, wait, what was that? And he was like, bippity boppity boopity. And he's like,
that's just what I said.
What was that? No, you heard it.
But then, so all these other people, they gave the same, at the RNC, they said the same thing. Like, they're coming for us, and these people are a hero. And so he probably has gotten his mind from all these major figures that, I need to protect, I want to be a hero and protect these businesses. And even after he did that, he was being hailed as a hero. So in a way, he got what he wanted.
I mean,
now he's looked at as this.
Ann Coulter tweeted something Saul's like Kyle Rittenhouse is my hero.
I want him for president.
And, she's like, he's my president. And it's dude. Don't get me wrong, I was already hoping Ann Coulter would commit suicide pretty soon, but now I'm kind of hoping she gets murdered. Come on. Sometimes, you wonder why people have to have that much. I am all for free speech, but sometimes you wonder why people like that actually have fans. How does that happen? How do you...
Well, I think she had to, delete her. Well, what's weird is that, I just feel like inciting violence is probably not the right way to go about it.
I also just think there's no which way you could flip this where this kid was not...
in the wrong
even if he's not been doing something completely evil, you can't flip it to where he wasn't doing something completely idiotic.
Well, also, it's
what an idiot. What do you think?
Well, their justification is they were coming for him, so we shot. It's they were coming for him because he had a gun.
Yeah, they saw somebody with a gun. They probably thought you, they saw you, they probably thought you looked like enough of a virgin to be a mass shooter, and they thought, we're all gonna die!
We need to get this gun away from this guy. That's what... People act like it's not normal to carry around a gun.
Yeah, nobody sees a man who's not, nobody sees a man who's not law enforcement. I mean, really, even law enforcement included. Nobody sees a man with a gun and thinks, oh, I feel safer.
Yeah,
nobody. If anything, I feel safer when I know that there's zero guns. When I know that there's zero guns in the room, I feel the absolute safest.
Because you ever been in a takeout restaurant with a cop, and you just see they have that gun, and you just think for a second
I want to kill myself.
What if this person? What if this person uses his fucking gun? There's always just thought.
You ever? Because I don't know. You ever been I've had thoughts like that, but what I've had is you ever been stopped by a cop and they come up to you and they're like, "How you doing?" And you're like, "Hey," and they're like, "Can I see your license and stuff?" And you're like, "Here you go." And then they go back to their car, and you just have that thought what if he just comes back and he just points the gun at my face and he says, "All right, we're going for a ride."
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what? You mean you're arresting me? And he's like, not arresting you. We're going for a ride.
Yeah, and
like,
they can just
then,
kill you.
Yeah, and then he just like takes me somewhere and like forces me to suck his dick. Like he could do that. Like he has a gun. Like anybody who has a gun could pretty much make me do anything.
I like how that's your first fear.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I feel. Like, what if I have to suck the cop's dick? I don't want to have to suck the cop's dick.
But no, it's true. Like if you have a especially if you're not a cop, it's not a normal thing to see somebody with an AR-15. It's just weird. And so people saw this guy. Nobody feels like, oh, this no sane person was gonna be like, oh, that guy's just protecting a store.
Yeah,
you know, like
it's
that never
like,
happens.
Like if you saw somebody walking around with like a full-fledged samurai sword, like would you feel like, oh yeah, that guy's definitely up to good.
Yeah,
like
he's
that
a
guy's
hero.
That guy's protecting us. No, that guy's clearly not insane. He clearly doesn't have a mental deficiency that's going to result in someone's death soon.
And usually if somebody is carrying on them, it will be like a pistol, but they'll have it like concealed where you can't see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like a concealed carry permit is something you can have if you need it for whatever reason.
But this thing,
like,
you can't hide an AR-15.
Well, yeah, that would be an open carry, and that's like, I'm pretty sure even in open carry states, you can't just carry an assault rifle. Like
it's just stupid. And it's also just, the fact that anyone thinks that, like, this guy deserves to be, like, defended. He's probably going away to prison for the rest of his life.
No, I'm going to be straight up here. If you're defending this guy, like, you're clearly racist. Like, I'm not, like I'm usually, like, I try not to be that guy to be like, if you do this, you're racist. But, like, I can't see any other reason to defend this kid.
Well, you're just
other
a
than,
psychopath.
like, you're trying to, you're either a psychopath or you're just trying to find any possible way to disagree with, like, Black Lives Matter or whatever it is. Even to the point where you'll defend somebody who shoots them. You're just like, well, like, come on. Like, they came at him.
Yeah.
He was there. It's like, hey, dude, like, you're clearly, like, you wouldn't be trying this hard if you weren't.
Yeah.
It's
well,
obvious.
I mean, this is the first time, like, news people have actually defended murderers. Because that's never happened. This was shocking even to me. I was like, holy shit. Like, they're actually...
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't shocked, but I was just like...
I was surprised.
It made me
I know
more,
they say horrible shit, but I never expected them to like defend.
It made me so much more disgusted at the fact that like Tucker Carlson has like millions of viewers. Like, I hate that guy so much. Like,
his bow tie.
Seriously, like if I could like scalp that guy, I would. Like, I would scalp that dude.
He always
like,
has that like face that like, duh. You know what I mean?
Dude,
that,
I
like,
hate
surprised face.
Or his like fucking fake, like his hair. I swear to God, he wears a wig. Like his hair looks like it's gonna blow off in a
He has that like
day.
John Edwards hair.
Yeah, like that fucking like I try to act like a nice like well dressed and proper person, but I've probably gang raped somebody with my fraternity in college. Like
he gives off. Well, I mean, the thing that's scary about this whole thing, I'm sorry if I'm bumming you guys out with this.
Sorry if this is a little bit of a depressing episode.
I just feel like this is like the closest thing we're getting to like a real civil war here. We have literal people like killing each other on the streets.
I mean, especially now because it's like you also hear about like, you know, like even like some like, not all, but some instances of like protesters or Antifa or somebody like on that side now attacking people too. Like, I don't know the details of that. But
I don't know. I never heard about that. But if that's true, that's fucked up.
I mean, like, it's like you see, like,
I'm not gonna defend anybody.
Yeah, like you're not like I'm not gonna defend anyone who's resorting to violence at this point because the only like thing like
or threats.
This is gonna lead to a war. Like, do we want to go to like? Do we really want to go through another civil war as a country? Like, it's just gonna destroy us. It's not worth it.
War is gonna take like at least like 5 years, dude. This is our 20s.
I never heard such a lazy defense of like of not going to war. It's like, come on, dude, war's gonna take so long.
It's just like boring,
bro.
You know what I mean?
Come on, do we really want to spend that much time?
It's like, just war is like boring.
Bro, I'm like 26. I still want to go out and get pussy.
Yeah, I want to go out and party,
bro.
Dude, war. That's what I always thought whenever I watch war movies. I'm like, war just seems like boring.
Yeah, like, it seems so
nice.
It does though. Like, it seems so boring and lame. Like,
there's so many nights just spent tense, just like whispering to your friends about your personal lives, and it's like I don't.
It always looks like a lot of paperwork too. Like, there's always like a scene where somebody's like just at a desk.
It's all
and like,
you're
is
just
that really
showering.
what you do in the army? Like, you're just writing stuff?
You're just there's the pencil pushers, and you're just showering with like 30 other guys, and the food never looks good. Like,
and there's no like good weed anywhere. You have to smoke opium if you want to get high. Like,
it's just like. It just sounds boring and like I don't know. It does not for me.
I mean, not a fan. Yeah,
I'd rather fan of war.
I'd rather just chill. I'd rather just chill and watch some Rick and Morty. Not a big fan of going to war with them.
If I had to choose between not going to war and going to war,
I had to choose between just like drinking a 7-Eleven Slurpee and watching The Price is Right for 7 hours and going to war.
Yeah.
I would probably be
traveling
the
and
Price
like
is Right.
shouting, like he's coming for the fucking like you know.
It's too loud. War is just too loud.
It's just like every day too. You're like you might die.
Yeah, like you have to go outside. You're like, oh, is that guy gonna fucking kill me?
Like this is my last day on Earth. I had to spend it like.
You have to worry about transit. Like you think like, oh, like I have to take the train. No way. Yeah. Like I want to live. Like
and fucking you're just like your last day on Earth could be like spent with people you don't really know. It's not like your friends. You're just like your other recruits.
Yeah, right. Like you guys are just like your last moments are just spent like crouching down next to a bunch of guys, like not knowing that a bomb is already like on the way, like, and you're just eating like these teeny little rations of food, and you're just like, so what are you gonna do when you get back to the world?
I'm gonna propose to this woman and make
like you just get blown up at that moment.
I mean, maybe if it was like me, you, and Manny, and like the whole squad as like one.
See, but that's the thing, it's never that. Like, people are like, yeah, like, if it was, like, the whole squad in the war, but it's like, what, you think, like,
buddies.
You think you just get drafted, and then the draft board's just like, all right, so, where's the whole squad at?
I know, I'm just saying, like, if I had to choose, like, that would at least be, like...
Of course, yeah.
Like, bonding, you know what
anything would be better if it was with your, like, best friends. But, I mean, it's like drowning at sea would be better if it was with you guys. Like,
yeah, that's true.
It's like, yeah, you know what? I'd rather be gang raped by, like, a fucking clan of white supremacists if it's with my best friends. It clearly seems like it'll be more fun. Like,
we'd be trying out bits on the battlefield.
Yeah, right.
So, I was going to the grocery store the other day.
Imagine you're, like, mid-bit and you step on a landmine. You're like, so I was trying to think of this premise, you know, since we're in the middle of the trenches, you know, and we're outside a lot. I was thinking, so it's kind of weird being outside. These
your legs are going in each direction.
Yeah, next thing you know, you're just clutching like a calf with no fucking like.
Oh God. But anyway, war is gay.
Yeah, war's pretty gay. I agree.
It's just too much.
If you want to go to war, you're
too much camaraderie. Too much camaraderie with other dudes.
Too much attacking other dudes too. Yeah. Too much guns. Like too much pointing guns and like.
It's too like
fire
gay
power
and at the same time like virginal. How much that you know when like back in the day when they used to have those I forget what they call them, but like those shows where some like hot woman would dance on stage and all the soldiers would be like, yeah.
I remember watching that in the like 6th Rambo movie, thinking like, I don't know if that really happened, but I'm 13 and this is making me hard. Because when you're 13, you're just like, oh my God, they're naked. Like.
Well, like in Apocalypse Now,
you don't understand like how seriously fucked up the implications of what's going on.
Oh yeah, they're looking at this woman like she's a piece of meat.
Literally, and you're just 13. You're like, this is the scene with the titties, like, and you're just bouncing in your seat.
I'm gonna come. Well, you know, you watched Apocalypse Now, right?
I love that movie.
Like,
that
you know the
amazing.
scene when they're like, like that scene when the woman comes and she starts dancing, and they start like they're just like so fucked up in the head that they try to like attack her. And, like, she, like, grabs the helicopter, and she's like, no! Yes! It just, like, takes all of the, like, any sort of innocence away from that. Because that's, at the end, that's what it is. They're just like, we really want to fuck you, and we have no inhibitions left.
Yeah, like, literally, like, we're just, like, we're at the point where, like, the constant violence, fear, and, like, just harshness of the environment we're in every day has turned us into animals again. Yeah. And, like, we're just ready to attack and fuck at every single moment.
Literally take you down.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. But, like, that's what we're scared of. Because, it's like, this is the type of psychotic behavior that leads to a war happening. Like, when people, like, start thinking, like, I have to bring a gun across state lines to be a part of some defense. Like, that's warlike behavior. Like you would only behave that way if you felt like you were like, and that's the thing. Like if you go on the internet, you'll find people who'd say it is a war already, and like I think that's kind of what's. I'm scared.
Well, the rhetoric that's used by politicians is kind of like implying that there's a war to come. All this talk of like these people are coming to get you, and like it's just it's fucked up, man.
Especially if you watch the RNC.
Yeah, like, I watched a little bit of it because I hate myself. And,
I watched like a minute of like the chick that everyone was talking about, and I was like, I can only take so much.
Dude, that lady was nuts. What was her name? Kimberly Guilfoyle.
Yeah, Kimberly Guilfoyle.
She was on some nice cocaine.
It'd be funny if she was like actually a gilf.
A gilf.
She's a granny you liked fucking.
She's
she's not bad.
She's Trump. I mean, I'd fuck her. She was Trump Jr. She's Trump Jr.'s girlfriend.
Is that? Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But dude, I recognize a person on cocaine from a mile away, and that woman was hopped up.
I mean, that woman makes Travis look fucking tame.
Like, she was just like, like, dude, take it easy, man.
She's just like, they need to go back to Mexico.
Well, remember when people used to make that joke? It's kind of like a hacky joke of like, if Trump gets elected, he's gonna put his name on the White House, and you know.
Yeah.
But like they actually had fireworks that spelled out Trump above the White House when he gave his speech. So I'm like, fuck, it really is.
Oh my god.
It's coming down to it.
Yeah, at this point, it's like the jokes are so like closely reflective of reality that they're not funny anymore. Like Kimberly Guilfoyle, like that's like it seems like that was funnier just naturally than most like SNL skits making fun of Republicans.
Yeah. Well, most because she's just nuts.
Just because you're naturally insane, like you're naturally completely.
There's nothing to like make fun of because it's just like, how do you parody something that's?
Plus, it's like it's bad deep down. Like you're only like this. Like nobody, deep down, nobody could really be this way unless truthfully they're suppressing some serious pain. Like that must be what it'd be. Like she uses all this shit to mask the fact that she probably just hates herself for some reason. Like she might hate the decision she's made or wherever she is, so she blames like I guess like Antifa for everything that like ruins her life.
Well, it's like I always wonder like how did somebody become that way? Because I like when she mistaked Puerto Rico for a country. And she was like, I'm a first-generation immigrant because I came here from Puerto Rico. And it's
my god.
What are you talking about?
I'm just sitting here, I'm like, well, what? Yeah.
Yeah, like, yeah.
That makes perfect sense to me. She's like, I'm a first-generation immigrant.
They're all Mexican countries to me, you know?
Yeah. I remember it's kind of like there was an old Ralphie May joke, and it was kind of fucked up. Where I don't know, I don't remember the joke, but like the tag is like, listen, anything that like, until anything gets more than 3 TV channels, it's all Mexico down there or something.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like,
some people.
It's funny as a joke, but when you see like somebody who actually sees the world that way, it's like shit.
There's 5 Mexican countries. Anyway, should we move on to our next topic?
We should conclude somewhere okay. I mean, because
we are at 53 minutes.
Oh my god, damn! All right, what was the next thing?
The OnlyFans thing. We're really just treading on old ground.
I mean, the OnlyFans thing is more like this is just something interesting that I found, and I guess the last thing we'll say about Kyle Rittenhouse is like. I just think he's a big jerk.
Yeah, he's a big meanie face.
Yeah, he's a big duty butt.
I think he's a
poopy faced butt head, and
not a fan.
I'm not gonna invite him to my birthday party. I'll tell you that much.
Well, I might. That's a little rude.
That's a little extreme. I mean, calm down. Come on, we're not monsters.
He's just a kid, you know.
Yeah, I mean, everybody makes mistakes. But all right. So basically, what I found is because it's just like an interesting situation. With OnlyFans, because we've talked about OnlyFans on this podcast before. We've shat on it, and I don't think we're not against
the
it.
Angry virgins we are.
Yeah, we're not against it. We just don't get laid enough to see it as empowering.
Yeah. I just find it funny.
I mean, yeah, I just like anything. I find it funny to make fun of, but I truly and honestly do think if that's what you want to do to make your money, go for it. But I
really don't give a shit about it at the end of the day.
But anyway, apparently Bella Thorne, who is Bella Thorne again? What is she?
She's an actress. I don't really know what she was in. She's been a couple of shows or something. I never heard of her. I mean, I did, but I don't know of anything I never seen anything that she was in. But I know she's a hot actress. Bella
Thorne essentially started in OnlyFans, right? And I'm gonna paraphrase this Twitter thread because this is where I got the story from, and the account's name is Erica Heidwald. If you want to read the thread for yourself, you can find that person. Give him a follow. But she's saying, she's like, if you don't understand, why sex workers hate Bella Thorne's guts and how she endangered the livelihoods of hundreds of thousands of creators, let me explain it to you. So she goes into how she made an OnlyFans.
Did she really need to start it off with that?
Yeah, did you really need to be that dramatic?
Are you writing an essay? Why do we need an introductory paragraph?
It's do I need... I don't know if anybody's really questioning why you guys are mad at her. It's
I think most people just don't care why you're mad at them.
Yeah, I think most people didn't know that this was actually happening.
Yeah, that's true. Nobody
most people don't know it's happening.
There's such a niche thing.
And if they did know that it's happening, they're not sitting there why are you guys so mad at Bella?
Yeah. I don't think there's many fans of, I don't even...
But anyway, so she starts in OnlyFans. But it is interesting. It's an interesting story. She starts in OnlyFans. She makes $1 million in her first day. And she sends out a pay-per-view message at one point. And it's $200. And she claims that it's a nude photo or something like that. But they found that it wasn't, fully nude or something. So she scammed them. And apparently, OnlyFans has a policy that if someone scams you, you can, file a claim and request your money back. Which I get.
They promised me boobies.
Yeah, right.
Imagine having to make that
She was not as naked as she said she was gonna be.
Dude, how little self-respect are you to have to make that phone call? if you're on the phone this girl said she would show me her vagina, and I didn't see a vagina.
Yeah, right.
How do you do that with a straight face?
How sad are you as a human being? It's like, hi, well, thank you for calling OnlyFans. How can I help you? It's hi, so this girl told me she was going to send me pictures of her feet, and when she sent the pictures, she still had socks on. I want my money back. I want her imprisoned. For 50 years?
It's just dude, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's sir, have you considered just killing yourself?
What a sad life you live.
How could you possibly just wake up in the morning and look in the mirror and say, I am me, and then do that and not hate yourself? But anyway, so she starts this... I like how OnlyFans has the policy too, because they knew there was going to be enough losers on there.
Tits or your money's back.
Yeah, right. We have the pussy or like at the UPS store, we have the pack and ship guarantee. This is the
tits and pussy.
Yeah, the tits and pussy guarantee. Well, I shouldn't be saying my place of work this much on the. I don't give a fuck.
We'll find out eventually.
Yeah, one of these days I'll lose my job to this. But yeah, so, OnlyFans has the tits and pussy guarantee. So if you feel like you didn't get the feet pics you wanted, or that 17-year-old wasn't 16 like she promised, you get it, ask for your money back. But, so anyway, yeah, so suddenly a lot of people are asking for their money back because Bella Thorne has a lot of fans, and she scammed a lot of people, and they all sent her real money. So now they're asking for their money back. And, OnlyFans is compensating them, but OnlyFans is not that big of a company, so the company is losing money now to this. So because of this, they changed the rules. And, according to this Twitter thread at least, now OnlyFans changed their policies. So the maximum price for a pay-per-view message, the maximum price you could charge is $50. The maximum tip that someone can send is $100. And all the money that you can even make on OnlyFans at all is now pending for a full month as opposed to 1 week, which it used to be. So
now the real danger is that all these girls on OnlyFans are going to have to create a resume and get a job.
So see, what's really scary about this is that all these women might have to like move on with their lives,
and they might have to do this thing called work for a living.
Yeah, right. They might have to do this thing called joining society is more than just a sex object. I mean, who'd have thought?
Dude, that's
tough. I can't
imagine. What a horrible
imagine.
Woman for doing that, right?
Yeah, right. God. I mean, come on. You got to go back to just selling your pussy in photos on the internet. Like,
because that's what real empowering women is all about.
Sure, a woman wrote the code that took human beings to the moon, but you're just gonna write the code that gives me your OnlyFans subscription for your pussy.
When I think about what Gloria Steinem wants, I think that she wants women to sell pictures of her vagina online.
See, when I think of
that's really what feminism is about, honestly.
When I think of what Susan B. Anthony really stood for, she was fighting for the right of women to sell photos of their underage feet to 55-year-old men with wives and make more money than their own parents that way.
That's what being a woman is all about.
Yes.
It's selling your body.
Selling your body. But anyway, this Twitter thread is arguing this, she's saying, because the reason she's saying this is why people are mad at Bella Thornburg is, because she's like, I almost called her Bella Thornburg.
She's now Jewish.
It's Greta Thunberg.
Thunberg.
Like Greta Thunberg started an OnlyFans.
Imagine if Greta Thunberg had an OnlyFans.
Like she started it and like people knew like there's no way it's legal. She's 16. She's a child. And then she like totally completely rips them off. Like it's just a photo of her like flipping them off. Like
Greta Thunberg sends a picture of her tits and she's saying, "I shouldn't be here right now."
Oh god. Oh.
This is fucked up.
This is the shit that got Mike Keegan kicked out of Theater 3.
This is so fucked up.
Yeah, she would never do that. Maybe when she's of age.
Yeah. Is she not? I thought she was like 18.
Is she?
I don't know.
Who knows who else? Yeah, whatever. Anyway, but this person is saying like this is the thing. Like people have bills to pay. She's like people have bills to pay, kids to feed. Many people, including content creators and sex workers, many people, including sex workers, live paycheck to paycheck.
Guys how are they going to jerk?
Yeah, like how am I going to pay my bills this month if I can't get my dick suck money on time? Like
it's just like I don't know, go work at Starbucks or some shit.
She's like, how are they going to feed their families? It's like, what do you mean? Like, go to a temp agency or something. Like, fuck.
I mean, I know that the economy's shit right now, but like, there are places that are hiring.
Like, I almost want to. I hate to blame people for their situations, but like I almost want to blame you for making your last resort like the sale of your body for sex. Like
you should have had a backup plan. You know what I mean? Everybody has a backup plan.
And you shouldn't have like made yourself dependent on this app to be morally justified in their decision making. Like as far as they're concerned, like OnlyFans, there's nothing like progressive about OnlyFans as an entity. They just want money. Yeah. So they're just like fuck it, like. If it's going to be like this, they can't get their money for a month. Whores. Like,
and at the end of the day, it's like, you should have seen this coming. Or you should have like had enough forward thinking to like think, well, what if this app crashes or some shit? Because apps crash all the time. And what if this somehow goes wrong and I can't, like, you didn't have a backup plan of, I don't know, working at fucking 7-Eleven or some shit. Like, what are you talking
Like, here's the thing. Like, this Twitter thread goes on to argue that, like, the new model of OnlyFans doesn't allow people to make a living off of it. But it's like, I don't think that's ever been the point of OnlyFans. Yeah. Like, I don't think the app was ever like, hey, come make a living off this. I think
it was a side hustle.
Yeah, it's literally, that's exactly what it is. It's like, if you're already into, like, selling photos or something, like, here's an app. Like,
it's
you
like
want to make some extra money, go for it.
An additional job to have.
Yeah, it's not like I don't think anybody at OnlyFans, while they were creating it, ever had the idea that people were going to become, like, full-timers. You know what I mean? Like,
it's like, what happens then when you become, like, and this
do you
is
get like an
really...
employee of the month? You get like an employee of the month email from OnlyFans.
Boobs of the month.
But yeah, tits of the month. Like we just want to give a shout out to our tits of the month, Erica.
You just have a framed photo of January February and just pictures of tits.
Yeah, just women's tits without their faces in it. It's just cut off.
Well, I'm gonna say might sound kind of mean, but that's not any different than all the other
big
shit.
surprise, yeah. Like, Jack, you're gonna sound mean.
But like,
what's up, buddy? You okay? Something wrong today?
This is a little different than I'm normally. Well, like, what happens when you become like old and you're no longer like desirable? You know.
Which happens to all of us.
Yeah, which happens to all of us.
And don't give me this fake progressive, old people are beautiful too. They're not, okay? They're gross.
It's just like,
I
know that there are some guys that will pay money for like 50-year-old titties, but you're going to lose a lot of clientele for that shit.
Yeah, and it's like, you know what? There's guys who will pay money for 50-year-old titties, but there's guys who will pay money for 5-year-old titties. Both are wrong.
And yeah, it's also like, dude, like eventually you're not going to be able to make money off of this, regardless of the app. You're going to become, you know, you're going to lose value. I'm sorry, but that's. And just
also,
life.
You're just not going to want to. Like, are you really going to feel right, like selling a picture of like your fucking like your legs spread open to some random guy when you're 38? Like,
and you have to drive your like
even if you still have your
10-year-old kid to Little League practice.
Yeah, right? Like, even if you still have your looks, like, are you really going to want to be making money off dirty photos when you're dropping your son off at like, preschool and, like, kissing him goodbye? Like, you get, like, a notification the moment you kiss your son goodbye on day 1 of preschool.
Dude, it's like, imagine your kid finds out about that shit. Like, how fucking confused would he be?
I mean, back in the day, that was like rare. It's like if you found out your mom did porno, it was like, dude, what the fuck? Like, nowadays, it's like if you find out your mom had an OnlyFans, it's kind of like, bruh, that sucks, bro. I got lucky. My mom wasn't one of those fucking bitches.
My mom's not a whore like your mom.
Yeah, my mom ain't a fucking whore like you.
Hey, you meat potatoes, spaghetti meatballs. But like it's
spaghetti and meatball, bada bing, bada boom, garlic.
But like. If you find out
come on over here.
Hey, Italian gibberish, huh?
Hey,
but like if you find out your stepmom
listen, these OnlyFans is they's got to learn their places.
These women got to. How about my stomach has an OnlyFans and I want you cooking?
I got your OnlyFan right here.
Hey, it's my dick and my balls.
Yeah, my dick is my OnlyFan.
But what if you find out your stepmom has an OnlyFans? Now I've seen a lot of videos where that's like the plot line.
I mean, that would be crazy if you got a step sibling and you were secretly like attracted to them, and then you found out they had an OnlyFans and like you have to create like a secret account just to subscribe to their OnlyFans.
My name is John Manperson.
Yeah, right. My name is John Doe.
Just like, can I have one pictures of your titties?
Yeah, it's like, we've never met before, and we probably live on opposite sides of the planet. Yeah. But can I please have a picture of your opened asshole?
I mean, the thing about step-sibling fucking is, like, it's wrong and everything. But, like, that was what happened at the end of Clueless, was that she, like, fell in love with her stepbrother.
Is it? I never saw that movie.
Oh, spoiler alert.
Oh, shit. Really? That's an incest movie?
That's a great movie.
Oh, fuck.
Spoiler alert. But it's based on the Jane Austen novel Emma, and at the end of that book, she falls in love with her stepbrother. But that book was written back in, like, the 1700s when people used to marry their cousins and shit.
I mean, the thing about it is, like, what's weird is, like, you're not really related to your step-sibling, so it's kind of like, you know, like, nature says, fuck all you want. Well, but, like, society says, obviously don't. But, like...
Well, if your parents marry, like, a very young age, and, like, you grow up with them. But if you're, like, 16 years old, and, like, what if you're, like, 16 years old, and you have...
I actually knew a kid who that happened to.
Like, he has a crush on this girl, and, like...
Not that he had a crush on her, per se, but, like, this kid in our school, like, basically there was this super hot girl... and this super weird, nerdy kid. And there was, like, never any, like, context where you would even mention them in the same sentence, right? Yeah. And then one day you just heard, like, oh, shit, like, her dad married his mom or something. So, like, now they're just, like, stepbrother and sister. And it's just, like, the fucking nerdiest, weirdest, most random, like, nothing kid. And, like, just this super hot, like slut, basically.
She's, like, a 9...
Not like a 9, but like for high school, like hot, you know. Okay. And like you're like,
he definitely would sneak into.
You have to think like, how much does that suck? Yeah, like how bad does that have to suck? Like not only do you have a new stepsister who's like super hot, but like even if there was a chance that she's into that like weird ass shit, like you're not attractive.
Yeah,
you don't even have a chance. Like
you wouldn't even be the guy in the porno.
Yeah, like you would. You'd be like the guy fucking mopping in the background.
The best case scenario would be like you overhear her having sex to a guy, and you like
having
masturbate.
Sex to a guy.
Having sex.
See,
to
some
a guy.
women have sex with men, but a good woman has sex to a man.
Yeah, she does the fucking herself.
She does it to a man.
But like the best case scenario would be he would be overhearing her having sex, and he would just be crying and masturbating into a sock and wishing that was him. And like being all confused and telling his therapist about it.
Yeah, and then his therapist doesn't really know what to say, but like he's making plenty of money off this kid, so he'll just do some more bullshit breathing exercises and act like that's helping.
You'd be the therapist's like top client. You never want to be like your therapist's main guy.
Yeah,
it's
right.
Just like
this is like, I think you and I need to have 4 sessions a day.
Yeah.
Like, jeez.
The therapist isn't even listening to his other clients because, like, dude, Josh is so fucking weird. Like,
yeah, right. Like his other clients just like, well, I'm sorry, you seem distracted. He's like, no, yeah, I was just thinking about something Josh said before. It's
he
like,
wants
Josh
to
is
fuck his stepsister, and you're complaining, like, dude.
Yeah, it's like, this kid wants to fuck his stepsister, and he tried to kill himself last night because she denied him.
He like asked, like, what would you do?
Yeah, right. He's like, what exactly? Like, what do you? Let me ask you. If you were in my shoes, what would you say to this guy? It's like, I'm paying you.
Yeah, like, I think that you need your own therapist. Dude, did he ever end up banging her? You should find out.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, right. Like, I just DM him. I'm like, hey man, long time no see. I know we never hung out, spoke, or knew each other, but I was just wondering, when you and so wound up becoming step siblings, did you guys fuck?
Well, it's like, how old were they when they married? Because like if
it was high school.
But like if they're like 16, and then by the time their parents get married, they only have like 1 year. Then they're both out of the house, and so it's not like they like.
True.
I'm not saying that. I'm not like
But maybe they got married like.
I'm not trying to normalize incest.
I don't know. Maybe the relationship started earlier.
Yeah.
And then maybe they got married when he was in high school, and then he had to deal with it for a few years.
I mean, it's weird, man. I'm not into that shit. But like, if you're genuinely in love with your stepsister,
you should kill yourself.
I don't know, man. I don't have that type of advice.
I don't know if I have the answer for that. Like, if you're genuinely in love with your stepsister,
that might be beyond me. Yeah, we don't have all the answers.
I don't know what to say to you. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, I don't know if you should kill yourself. Like,
we should have you on the podcast. So
I don't know if you should try to fuck her. Maybe. Like, yeah, we should have you on. Like, maybe we should have you both on. Maybe you could fuck in front of us.
And because if I say go for it, if you're like,
what's funny? I remember one time, I think it was like in college, like I overheard this girl in one of my English classes. She was like saying, like she was talking in the context of stories she likes.
Yeah.
But like when you overheard it, it's like one of those things where you overhear it out of context. It sounds way worse. Mm-hmm. But she was basically just like, she's like, I love incest. Like when it works out, like it's so like amazing. And I was just like, I just like sat down and I was like, well, shit. Like, I'm glad I smoked weed before this class period. Like, glad I get to think about that. Like,
I love incest. Was she saying incense?
Incest. Like, I think she was saying, like, as a plot device, like, she considers it very interesting and, like, it works out in the story. Incest. Like, she loves it. Like, she literally loves the idea that a brother and sister might wind up fucking.
Yeah. I mean,
and I'm like, you know what? Like, good for you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, no. Like,
I mean,
I think, like, if you, like, yeah, like, but that's like me saying, like, oh, I love rape as a contextual story-building element.
Story.
Like,
I mean, it was a major plot device in Game of Thrones that made it. That was interesting.
See, but that's the thing. It's like, did it need to be like nobody got raped in Breaking Bad, as far as I'm concerned?
Yeah, but Game of Thrones.
I mean, not as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, but it's like two different shows, and like
but it's just like one show dealt with equally fucked up shit and didn't need like rape in it, like.
Yeah, but The Sopranos was great too, and that had a rape scene. That had the most brutal rape scene I've ever. Have you? You haven't
I've never.
seen?
Yes, no, I still haven't watched it.
Oh god, but like, yeah, no, those shows, but like Game of Thrones, which is amazing, has like incest and it's horny and but like it's kind of weird because the guy's like, I'm genuinely in love with my sister, but that's more incest because that's like his twin sister.
Well, that's fucked up.
Just like that's weird.
Like at that point, it's not even like.
But everybody knows about it.
Because at that point, it's not even like, come on, at least we're not related. It's like, no, dude, you actually look the same.
You're just the same person. You came out of the same vagina at the same time.
Like this is like at this point, we're getting to the point where it's like very clear. Like you know what I mean? Like you're very clearly insane at that point. But like I don't know. It's weird. I'm just saying it's a turn off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have weird turn-offs, though. You know what I mean? Like, you ever, like, watch a porno and you get turned off just because they look at the camera?
See, that doesn't bother me.
That always bothers me. I'm like, it's weird. Like, I become, like, a director with I have my dick in my hand and I'm like, don't look at the camera. Like, just go back to fucking, like...
Interesting. I like that.
Really? You like when they look at the camera?
Yeah.
I'd rather just act like I'm some sort of objective voyeur on this scene of sexual intercourse that's happening. I don't like the idea that they know there's a camera that not that they know. I don't like the idea that like I like the not that there's a story.
Make it seem real.
I just not that it's real. I just want a video of sex. Yeah. Like I don't want these people hanging out with a camera and then they decide to fuck and like film it. Like I just want a video of people fucking without them looking at the camera. It's weird.
It depends. If sometimes I'll watch a video and a woman will look at the camera and they'll like give a wink and I'm like, yeah.
You're like, yeah, that made me harder.
That made me come faster.
But
you know what is a big turn off? Like I never understand why pornos have close-ups of dicks entering vagina. Like, what is that angle?
Or you just the ball slapping into the fucking
why? How
pussy.
is that like attractive? Who is attracted to that?
I mean, like, I think vaginas look attractive, but I don't like to see some other dude's dick like just penetrating.
Porn stars' vagina is honestly just look like gross. They just look like they look like
the sides of like a mashed up like ham sandwich.
Yeah, or it just doesn't look good. I don't know. I don't like that angle.
It looks like one of those like it makes me think of like did you I'm trying to. You ever seen that scene in SpongeBob where like Patrick's mouth becomes like a vacuum for a sec and starts like flopping around before he slurps all the cookies off the table?
Yeah.
Like that's what a lot of porn star vaginas look like.
Yeah, it's just. Well, also I don't like the fake acting in pornos. I don't like the oh yeah, you know that.
Well, I agree with that, but like, I mean, what do you mean by fake acting? Like when there's a story, I hate that. I agree with you.
Depends on the story.
If it's ever just like, hey, like, you know, you're gonna hand in your homework on time. It's like, no way, Mr. Teacher. I'm 14 in this really disturbing fantasy porn.
Well, it depends on the storyline.
Because it's always weird. Like it's always a weird story. It's like, Mom, I don't want to take out the garbage. It's like, well, baby.
How about you take out your cock?
Yeah, right. It's always a strange story, so I'd rather just a video of people fucking.
I like,
But you're saying you don't like when she just says, oh, yeah?
Or like that fake, like when you could tell she's clearly faking it.
What do you mean? Like,
when she's like, oh, stick it in me. Oh, yeah. It's just like, shut up. You know?
What?
Stop making, like,
So wait, you don't like dirty talk?
No, it depends. Well, it depends on, like, if it feels like fake, I lose any interest.
Sometimes. Do you talk during sex at all?
No, I'm silent.
You're silent.
I don't...
You're silent during sex.
Pretty much.
Jack just fucks and all you hear is...
Yeah,
like you don't hear like any like no engagement.
Well, like I'll breathe hard and like moans and shit, but no like not like grunts.
What if she's talking? Like if she's like, "Oh yeah, Jack, give it to me." Like what do you say?
I don't say anything.
You're just like, can you please shut up?
Stop talking.
Shut the fuck up, bitch.
I remember one time I was in college and I shushed a girl who kept doing that.
She's like, oh, baby. You're like, shh.
Yeah, I just said,
you're such a dick. What? That's like the most dick. I think a woman would rather like a dude beat her ass than shush her during sex.
It wasn't even shut up. It was just like I was a librarian.
Yeah,
you're
like shh. Yeah, it's like you're trying to read. You're like, shh. Yeah, it was just like, it was a real quick shush. Like not even like a sexy like. Shh. You're just like shh. Trying to focus. Yeah, she's like, oh, baby. You're like, shh, I have my SAT in like a week.
I was just like, I didn't think
so. Wait, like, you just like to be completely quiet? Like, why do you want to be so in your head during sex?
I'm not, but it's just, I don't know.
So then, like, why?
Sometimes it's just like, it just sounds fake when they're just like, like I had this, I once was having sex with this girl.
I mean, you shouldn't have to force it.
Well, I had this sex with this girl once who was like a bad, dirty talker, and she would just say like weird shit.
That's
like,
bad. Yeah.
Make me come, make a baby. I'm like, dude, what are you talking?
Yeah, like if you're gonna say some weird shit like that, like,
do you ever have them call you daddy?
Yeah, I hate that. Anytime, like, yeah, women, please don't call me daddy. I don't like to think that you're my daughter. Like,
it's also like you're just pushing your problems onto.
Yeah, like, okay, you have issues, but please don't bring them in the bed with me.
Yeah,
like,
I don't.
That's like me, like, fucking you and saying, oh, I wish this was happening before I graduated high school because I wish I got laid back then.
Like, and it's also, yeah, because now it's like you make me feel bad because I feel like I'm violating you in a way.
Yeah, and it's also just,
issues and...
I don't want to get into it. Like, I'm like, oh, baby. Now it feels weird to say baby. Like, you're calling me daddy. Like,
there was a girl that I didn't dirty talk, but I did call her, like, baby, and I'd be like, I'm close. And I hate when girls ask you if you're close to coming. Because it's like...
Yeah, it's like, why do you stop fucking rushing me then, bitch?
Like, are you not enjoying this, you know?
It's all, yeah, that definitely. One thing is like, like I was fucking a girl once and like, she was pretty high, but like at one point she was just like, how have you not come yet? And I was like, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, stop rushing.
Stop like...
She's like, I'm sorry, I'm fucking high. And I'm like, you're making it seem like I shouldn't be fucking you right now. Like,
you make it seem like you don't want to fuck.
She's like, no, I want it. He's fine. I'm like, all right, I'll try to be fast. Like,
yeah.
And then you're like under pressure, and it's like hard to stay into it. You're like, oh, like I have to like.
Now you have to like rush, and it's hard, and it's impossible to come if you're wearing a condom.
I mean, I disagree. I come in condoms all the time.
I can never come in a condom.
I always do.
Really?
You gotta get good. What do you use?
I don't know. Condoms.
Just condoms.
I don't know what the brand is.
I use condoms. I drink beer.
I don't remember what the brand is.
I fucking watch. It's like, what video games do you play? Oh, video games.
Game videos.
I have games.
I don't remember the brand, but it's just like, I don't know. How do you feel about a girl making out with you after she sucks your cock? Are you pro or anti?
I'm not like pro, but I'm not like anti either.
Yeah.
Like, as far as I'm concerned, I don't want like the dick sucking to be the last time I can kiss her. But at the same time, like, sometimes I'll be offended if she didn't like swallow any of her spit. Like, if she got really salivated while she was sucking my dick, and then she goes in for a kiss, I'm kind of like, come on, like, you didn't even like swallow the immediate like
cum,
the immediate reception.
She's like spitting into her mouth like a bird feeding her children.
Yeah, just like it's just like she's like a fucking like liquidy batter going. So nasty. But like really, like I don't care because when I'm fucking, like all bets are off. Like obviously like. In most circumstances, like, if you ask me, like, would you shove your face into somebody's ass? I'd be like, no. But, like, when I'm fucking, like, I'll literally shove my face, like, all over a girl's asshole. Like,
see, I've never done that. I don't want to eat ass.
I eat ass.
Really?
I eat ass like it's fucking lunch. Like,
that to me is like a gross out. Like, I'll do a lot of shit.
Ass is not that great. As long as, I mean, if it's not wiped, it's one thing. And you can usually tell before I make the decision whether or not I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
But if it looks clean and I'm turned on enough, I'll be like, I guess it's fucking
I just think about the fact of, like, her shitting, and it just immediately makes me...
What about her pissing?
But that's different. Cause
is it?
I
mean, piss is technically clean.
And eating pussy, I like eating pussy.
I mean, I like eating pussy too, but I don't know. Like, I'm an ass man, so like that's what turns me on. Like, is like more than titties. But I like.
I'm a tits guy myself.
Tits are all right, but it's like like tits are like. Tits are like, you know, it's like, that's not even, to me, that's not even like the main event. It's like you suck on her titties and stuff, and then like.
You can titty fuck somebody.
But to me, like, the tits are really part of foreplay. And then when you start fucking, like, I'm mostly like. Yes, I'll grab tits here and there, but like a lot of times I'm mostly just like kissing and focusing on like the ass area.
Yeah, I mean, I like titty fucking because you just get to slide, you know, their tits.
You just get to slide.
I feel like just Steve Carell in the 40-year-old version, just describing sex.
Yeah, you're like, yeah. The cool thing about titty fucking is that you get to go on a slide. It's just like, wait, tits. What? Like,
what are you
talking about? To slide down the slide? What do you mean?
But kissing is like one of the best parts. Some people are like they're not big fans of it. I don't know.
I mean,
I fuck while kissing at the same time.
No, same. I'm really turned on by making out because like I don't want to just be like I don't want to have to constantly just be looking in their eyes, like you know what I mean?
Hi!
Like hey, like we're fucking, aren't we? I'm enjoying this so much, like.
Or you're putting your head next to her, like you're telling her a secret.
Yeah, right. Like you put your head like right by her,
rubbing cheeks.
Yeah, you put. And after a while, like you're just like kind of looking the other way. You're like, like not just like kiss, but then also it's like. Sometimes I want to breathe. Yeah,
and you're just like, I need a breath. You know, like one of the most. I'll tell you, you want to trade embarrassing sex stories right now for the podcast.
Oh God, I mean, I guess if we have to, like.
Nah, we don't have to.
No, go ahead.
Well, I don't know if yours is gonna be. One time I was fucking this girl doggy style, and she had a mirror, and I, like next to her bed. And did you ever watch American Psycho?
Like, oh, no, you did not. No. God.
I did that whole thing.
Oh, man. Then what did she do? Did she just say, get out of my body? Like,
she didn't notice, but...
Lucky. I bet she did notice, and she just thought in that moment that if she did
anything... What a tool.
She's like, she saw you, and she's like, if I say anything, I'm going to get murdered, so I just have to wait till this is over.
Like this guy's a legitimate psychopath.
Like, this guy's actually a fucking serial killer. I have to find... Right. I have, like, I mean, I'll try to think. Embarrassing sex stories. Nothing really other than just like just like not being sometimes like, especially when I had a girlfriend, like sometimes like, you know, when you fuck somebody a lot, like you do get those times where you're not able to come.
Yeah.
And then you're just like it's horrible because she's just like, it's all right, like don't worry about it, it's fine. And she says that, like you almost want to like beat the shit out of her. Like you're just like it's not fine. Like
it's like she's like pitying you.
Yeah, she's like it's okay. It's like oh, it's not like that. Like,
it's okay. You're not really a man.
It's like it's okay. You're an impotent little bitch boy.
And she's just like, it's okay. You don't know how to pleasure a woman.
It's like, all right,
like your literal primary responsibility as a man.
Yeah, she's like, this is why I like hung out with you, but it's fine that you totally failed. And you're like,
yeah. Your most important job as a man.
Like, because in that moment, your only response is anger, and there's nobody else to be mad at, and you can't get mad at her. So
and
it's
there's
like,
no coming back from that. You're just like, you can't be like, hey, you want to get a pizza? You're just like,
and you also can't just be like, wait, hold on, I got it. Give me a sec. Yeah. And she's gonna be like, relax. Like, let's watch something.
It is embarrassing. Or if you can't just get hard in general.
Yeah.
And that's always.
I mean, getting
whiskey
hard.
Dick.
Yeah, I mean,
I had a friend who used to get whiskey.
It sucks for me because if I drink one beer, I'm like, I'm officially like at risk for like not getting hard during sex.
Really, I've never.
Alcohol affects me pretty badly with sex. Weed, that's why I like weed. Makes me like turns me into like a pervert. Like With weed, I could fuck for like hours, but like if I have one drink, it's like, all right, like I better be careful. Like I don't want to have too many and not.
See, I'm the exact opposite.
Not be able to feel my penis.
I'm the exact opposite. I don't mind that shit at all when I just drink, and if anything, that makes me more like willing to do it. Just because, well, I mean, for most people, generally you're like, you'd fuck people you normally wouldn't when you're drunk and shit.
I mean, yeah. So it's probably not just the alcohol. It might just be not getting hard.
Bottom line is, me and Tom really need to get laid.
Yeah.
That's what this has come down
to. I mean, like I said, like, at this point, it's like, who cares? Like, we're all going to die pretty soon. Like, we'll probably get laid eventually.
Well, I need to get laid.
Just wait until like those apocalypse lays start happening. Like,
that'll be fun.
Like when the world really starts ending, and like people are just like, I need to fuck again. Like someone will be like, Jack, remember like we fucked that one time, like.
Or maybe be somebody you didn't fuck.
Or it could be someone new. Yeah, they just knock on your door. They're like, hi, like.
Do you want to fuck?
I know I don't know you, but the world is ending. Like I feel like I should fuck somebody.
And I'm like, all right.
It's okay, guys, come in. Like, this is my house. Yeah. But all right. On that note, I think we can conclude this whole thing.
Yeah.
We'll save the Tucker Carlson drinking game for another time.
Yeah.
I do want to try that one day.
I'll have to take an Uber home.
Yeah, really. We'll find a good video of him where he's really like arguing like a dick. And we'll actually take shots.
So, like, every video of him.
Yeah, basically every single video of him arguing with someone. But, yeah, otherwise, just listen. If you're passionate about something, just don't cross state lines with an assault rifle over it, please.
If you care that much about a TJ Maxx that you want to cross into another state with an AR-15 to protect it, just don't. Don't do it. Just get help, man. If
you care that much about a target, instead of driving across state lines with a gun to protect it, why don't you fill out an application and try to work for it?
Yeah, exactly. There we go.
Why don't you fucking get a job there, you fucking idiot? Like,
yeah.
You're worried about, like, the businesses. Apply for the workforce that's going to pick up the pieces.
Make yourself useful to society like us.
Stop being a bitch.
Yeah. Fuck you.
And you wear Crocs. That's one thing I forgot to mention is that photo.
He wears Crocs.
Dude, the photo of him that's been circulating. He has United States of America flag. Like he has the flag on his Crocs. Like he has flag Crocs.
Dude, this guy.
Like the second I saw that, I was like, I don't care what happens to this kid. Like he could go to fucking like. He can go to Rikers Island for his life, for all I care.
He probably is getting a life sentence if you kill 2 people.
I mean, if he's tried as an adult, like, the tricky thing is if he's tried as a 17-year-old, he may not go for a life sentence.
He at least will get, like, 20 years.
No, he's going to get 20 for sure. Yeah. But, yeah, no, so...
we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, good luck to the prosecution in that one. Otherwise,
next week we'll have a guest.
Next week we're going to have another guest. That'll be fun.
If you want to be a guest on the podcast,
please send Jack Siegel a message and ask him, and we'll see.
And subscribe to our OnlyFans.
Yes, subscribe to our OnlyFans, and subscribe soon because, we have to wait 30 days to get our money now. Thanks to fucking Bella Thorne.
We're sending our feet pics.
Yeah. Thank you all for listening.
Bye.
Take care. Yeah.